All right.
Hey.
So what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we talked about this before, so why not talk about it again for us?
Sure.
So, um, to be honest, I said, to be nice to people, I really can't stand Avatar Airbender. I said I didn't like it at first because I didn't want to make people mad, but I can't stand it. It's becoming so much popular. And you know what? I used to love it. I grew up with it as a child. I loved it as a child. And then when I got back to it, everyone couldn't stop talking about it. It wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And it just that I really just couldn't stand anymore. And that's the problem of oversaturation. When something that's
Yeah.
too good and it becomes oversaturated.
Yeah.
Okay?
Frozen had it. Lion King had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you a story about how I originally liked the movie the Little Mermaid, but my niece when she was like 6 or 7 years old, anytime I babysat her, she would put the VHS in the player, and my sister had one of these players that would automatically rewind and start playing again. So she would put the tape in, and it would be on an endless loop. And every time there was singing, my niece would sing. And a 6 year old singing isn't necessarily something you want to hear all day long. So
Oh,
I
It's
just
cute. But
yeah I burnt out on that movie after seeing the movie probably 300 or 400 times.
400. Yeah.
what, first time I watched Frozen, like, I mean, ugh, I'm beating a dead horse with this. Like, Frozen's a decent movie, but I've heard Let It Go so many fucking times. Every time I hear it, it makes me want to puke.
I have
Oh,
something to say.
all I gotta
Here's
say
the
is let it go.
thing.
I
But
wish
also,
it were that easy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. May I go?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, with the Little Mermaid, I never seen it before. Actually, as a child, I never even watched it until like 2 years ago, and then I liked it at first, but then started thinking about it. Ariel's creepy. I mean, when she has the little statue of the guy, and she's just like, oh, I love this guy who I don't even
Eric.
know. Eric, oh my god. And about Frozen, I actually really liked that movie when I hated that when I first heard about it. I hated that song. And then I decided to watch it and I really liked it like recently, 2 years ago again. And I still like it to say, but when Frozen 2 came out, it made me furious because it's so obnoxious and they locked her in a room and now they're treated like the heroes. I mean, they retconned them to be the heroes.
Yeah. Well, I mean the popularity of it probably is why they made her into a hero, an anti-hero, and or I guess you could
Yeah, I'm
say
talking about parents. I'm talking
all
about the
the
parents.
parents. Well, oh yeah, they did lock her in her room back in the original movie. I forgot about that. I need to rewatch that again. I guess I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, and then her
Speaking of the
parents.
parents from Frozen and The Little Mermaid, there's a theory that since the parents died at sea, one of the ships that got risen in final battle with Ursula is one of them belonged to the parents from Frozen.
Right, I heard that too.
I'm not too sure if I
Yeah,
subscribe to
there's
that theory or not,
tons of
but
theories that um Anna and Elsa are related to Tarzan, or like Anna and Elsa are related to Rapunzel, and especially because Rapunzel was at the coronation, and there was that little Easter egg there that Rapunzel was as a brunette, and there was Flynn, and there was like they're both there with Anna, like just singing and dancing, and not even noticing them. So if they were related, she would probably notice them.
Right. Have you guys, either of you guys, seen the Wreck It Ralph movies?
Oh,
yeah,
I loved the first Wreck-It Ralph movie. I loved it. I really loved it. I really loved it.
Wreck-It
But
Ralph is great. I've only seen bits and pieces of Breaks the Internet.
Yeah.
oh, I like the break the internet at first, but now I just like meh. It's like in the first movie, Wreck-It Ralph, I'm not princess anymore. I'm gonna be president, and I like that. It's a great subversion. But then the next movie, I'm a princess again, just so we can get the Disney princess, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That scene was so overrated.
I
it
thought I
is.
thought it was funny, but yeah, it was just like, oh, come on.
And also, do you think that all the men actually save your ass all the time? Which they pretty much do to most of them.
You know what? I hope if they do another Wreck-It Ralph movie that they have Princess Leia in the next one.
Oh, you.
Cause she's a badass, you know.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want to see her CGI animated some artificial bullshit or something.
Well, no, it wouldn't be a realistic looking Leia. It would be an animated Leia. It would be like a cartoon Leia.
I know, but here's the thing about CGI animation under Disney and under Pixar. I think it's boring. I love the Spider-Verse animation so much, and anything under Christopher Miller and Phil Lord. They are like the Edgar Wrights of animation world.
Yeah, those are pretty good. I don't know. I like all the Pixar movies. I've gotten to the point where if I go to see a Pixar movie, I always bring a box of tissues because I know at some point I'm gonna ugly cry. No question. It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when it's gonna happen.
Here's kind of a little bit the exception. Coco, I like because it had a world, an interesting world with it, and Soul because that had another world that was interesting and actually a bit abstract, and I really enjoyed that. All right,
Soul was a very interesting movie. Soul did not make me cry, but
Oh, I did.
it's a really
But
inspirational
actually,
movie.
it made me cry because of what COVID did to me. Because what COVID made me go through, and that scene where like you're ready to live, I was crying, ugly crying. Like, his what COVID did to me, I that just cut deep to my core.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
dare COVID come into the world and fuck up everything?
Damn
Now
you,
let's talk about
COVID.
So I have one unpopular opinion. Also, I really don't care about Big Hero 6.
It was okay. I mean, I guess it started off as a comic book first, then it became a cartoon movie.
I recommend you read the comic book. I want to read the comic book. It looks so much more interesting than the animated
It's
movie.
way different than the Disney animated movie, from what I
It
understand.
looks more like a shonen anime. It looks than a Disney like corporate like whatever.
It's closer to a manga than it is a comic book.
I know. That's what I love about it. That's what I love about it.
You think they could make a show out of that?
They did.
Out of the comic. Oh, you mean the movie? Which one? The comic or the movie?
The movie.
They
They
did.
did.
They did.
Oh, they did?
About the movie, I
Yeah.
just thought that the Uncle Ben trope was used too much. I did not. At first I loved Big Hero 6, but then when I rewatched it, I was just so underwhelmed when they got to the funeral parts. I was like, oh my god, another Uncle Ben scene. Jeez. And
Yeah.
also, that wasn't the inspiration for him to become a hero at first. They had to find the bad guy, find out what's his motivation, and then they become the hero. Instead of, him that being the first thing that sparks his mind about heroism. It's like something is missing there. Like, what Spider-Man got
It
down.
was a little more realistic.
Yeah. That's what I liked the most about the MCU version of Spider-Man. There was no origin story. We just jump into him being Spider-Man, and you see him like running around and saving people and stuff. You don't get the introduction to Peter and when he gets bit by the spider, and he doesn't stop the bad guy from kill. At the boxing place, and that guy robs and kills, or kills Uncle Ben or whatever. They didn't do any of that stuff. So it was like, wow, they skipped that part. That's amazing. Why haven't they done that before? Because it's like there literally was only 10 years between the first Spider-Man trilogy and then the second one, and they just basically retold the same damn story with some
I
minor
have
differences.
I have one thing to say. I've been hearing about that the complaints about the MCU Spider-Man, that he's too young, that he's not down on his luck, But here's the thing. I got an idea. How about maybe in the first movie he's a teenager, but then you time skip to the next movie, and then you see him down on his luck, and you see him in having to pay bills and having to do stuff. And that's what they found about the Spider-Man's, like, it's Spider-Man, not Spider-Boy. That's what a lot of people say. And also, but here's the thing. In Spectacular Spider-Man, they even did this as teenager, still that Aunt May had to pay the bills, and that was a dilemma for Peter, that he had to deal with Aunt May paying the bills and helping her and being a superhero.
Right.
That's why he's the definitive Spider-Man, not the MC one. He's the definitive Spider-Man.
Are you talking about the animated series Spectacular Spider-Man?
I'll be back.
Okay.
To be fair, Todd, the MCU Spider-Man, technically he's on Tony Stark's payroll. He has no reason to be down on his luck.
I wasn't talking about the down on his luck stuff. I just thought that was I think that Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man we've ever seen on the screen. He's awesome. The story's been amazing. I've not had any issues with it.
It took a while for me to warm up to him, honestly.
Really? Why?
I mean, he's not. He took a while for me to be honest. The first one, I thought he was kind of annoying, and even the movie kind of made a joke. Like, he kind of sounded like a girl.
And also, I have one thing to say. Him about being a noob about Star Wars, like with the walkie thingies, or like, have you seen this really
That is
old movie?
unacceptable.
I know.
That is unacceptable.
He's supposed to be a nerd. He's supposed to know about this stuff.
You know what? I'll stop you both right there on this one, because I am the generation that watched Star Wars when it first came out in theaters. I was 6 years old when that movie came out. I have had conversations about movies like, oh, I've never seen that movie. That one's really old. And I'm like, what? How old are you that you don't know have never seen this movie? So him saying that in the Avengers movie didn't surprise me, because I've had those conversations with younger generations where they have never seen a movie, or I actually had 3 months ago, I had a conversation with someone who's never seen The Goonies ever. To me, that's,
I have one question.
I've never seen the Goonies either.
Can I make this a mini podcast? Make this a mini podcast?
well, what?
Because I gotta go.
You gotta
Can
go.
I make this a mini podcast? I gotta go.
Okay.
All right, guys. I hope you guys like this video. Leave a comment below if you did, and see you guys later.
All right. Sounds
Take
good.
care, Squid.